The Season 1 finale signaled one thing: the Dance of the Dragons has officially begun. Aegon getting the crown means that he's Rhaenyra's opposition, and as we've seen throughout the season, she's reluctant to claim her birthright to the throne. But that doesn't mean that she wouldn't be a formidable ruler if push came to shove. Today, we're looking at 10 quotes from House of the Dragon that prove Rhaenyra should be queen.
Responsibility. I have handed to you the burden of this knowledge.
Starting with number 10, you are the king, and so your first duty is to the realm. The second episode, The Rogue Prince, had plenty of moments worth noting, from its production design to the confrontation between Rhaenyra and Daemon at Dragonstone. But by far, her conversations with Viserys are some of the most interesting pieces of dialogue. He's one of the more likable characters in the Game of Thrones universe, but sometimes we think he just doesn't care about ruling Westeros. A part of him is always conflicted about it, and Rhaenyra can tell. Maybe that's why she's also hesitant to one day rule the Seven Kingdoms. But at this moment, she proves that she's more aware of the realities of their world. When she says, "Your duty is to the realm,"
and so your first duty is to the realm.
She realizes that being king or queen comes with the sacrifice of your own desires. To her, the best ruler is the person who chooses the greater good, even if it comes at substantial cost. That's queen material right there. Coming in at number 9 is "Fire is a prison, the sea offers an escape."
Fire is a prison. The sea offers an escape.
Driftmark, a universally loved episode from the first season, and also the one where Viserys was in no shape to rule his realm. While there are several other characters in the show who have proven their intelligence, Rhaenyra is right up there with them. She's got a nuanced understanding of the way Westeros works. Plus, her approach to the world is as clear-eyed as anyone else's. She understands the limitations of fire and therefore dragons, and knows that the sea contains unprecedented power. We've seen characters take the easy way out, including Daemon, but not Rhaenyra Targaryen. Like a true ruler, her perspective includes both ice and fire, allowing her to make tough decisions. Next is number 8. The Iron Throne looms larger than me, larger than anyone in my family.
The Iron Throne looms larger than me, larger than anyone in my family.
The Iron Throne, the object of everyone's desire, and the thing that creates the most conflict in Westeros. The Iron Throne is arguably the most important piece of the puzzle, and is the real reason there's so much bloodshed in the Game of Thrones universe. It's literally larger than anyone in the Seven Kingdoms, and has the same influence over people as the Rings of Power from The Lord of the Rings. In Episode 5, We Light the Way, Rhaenyra says that the throne looms larger than anyone in her family. But where the Rings of Power corrupt a person due to their own wickedness, the Iron Throne is a symbol of power. It's the symbol that corrupts and not the throne itself, and Rhaenyra understands it better than most people. Even though she knows the absolute corruption that comes with it, she also gets that commanding the loyalty of people means control over the Iron Throne, and perhaps that's what we'll see more of in Season 2. For number 7, we picked "But now, they see you as you are."
Hiding beneath the cloak of your own righteousness. But now they see you as you are.
This is another excellent quote by the princess in the episode Driftmark. Throughout the first season, there's particular emphasis on the relationship between Alicent and Rhaenyra. We've seen their ups and downs, and it's clear that their relationship will change the course of the kingdom's history. With this quote, Rhaenyra proves that not only can she be a skilled ruler, but also manipulate someone into revealing who they truly are. She can easily look past the facade and into a person's true nature. But more than that, she can trick the person to show everyone who they truly are. It's one of our favorite bits of dialogue from the Targaryen princess. Now for number 6, I may be the Princess of Dragonstone, but I am toothless. When Kristen Cole says that several others would love to trade positions with Rhaenyra, she reveals just how little power she actually has.
I may be the Princess of Dragonstone, but I'm toothless.
Despite having the title Princess of Dragonstone, she has very little say in political situations. Viserys, being her father, often disregards her opinions, even though people like Corlys agree with her. In the world of Game of Thrones, political power means everything. The more you have, the better you maneuver through tricky situations. And of course, the more people you can bend to your will. And Rhaenyra totally gets that. She calls it as it is. Despite being princess, she's got no teeth to chew with. But you know what? This simple truth goes a long way in humbling a king or queen. But more than that, Rhaenyra's understanding of political power and influence will go a long way in helping her rule with an iron fist. Pun intended. Coming in at number 5, the only thing that could tear down the House of the Dragon was itself. Early in the premiere episode, The Heirs of the Dragon, Rhaenyra drops a truth bomb that echoes throughout the season. House Targaryen used to be an absolute absolute juggernaut in Westeros. Sure, it eventually crumbles from infighting and civil wars, but at the height of its power, there was no one who could challenge it. But then again, we've already seen the infighting in Season 1, and it'll only get worse. Truth be told, House Targaryen's major weakness was itself, and it's surprising that Rhaenyra catches this early on when no one else does, including Viserys. She knows that once a house fights amongst itself, others will see the chink in its armor, and they'll attack without a second's thought. For number 4, it's when she said, "I won't subject myself to the same fate." The 4th episode, King of the Narrow Sea, focused on Daemon and his quest to become King of the Stepstones, but it also focused on a brief insight from Rhaenyra, making her one of the best female characters in the Game of Thrones universe, at least for us. She's not gonna sit in the passenger seat of a car and let you drive her into a wall. More particularly, she refuses to exist only to birth children for her husband, like her mother before her. She's independent, fierce, and really good at reading people, and this is why she'd make a good queen. She won't accept the patriarchal institutions that exist in Westeros' culture, but she'll mold those institutions into something that fits her description of a good kingdom. Up next is number 3. Without them, we're just like everyone else. This quote begs the question, is House Targaryen special because it commands dragons? We'll let you decide that, but Rhaenyra understands that without dragons, the Targaryen people are just like everyone else, human. In the world of Game of Thrones, commanding a dragon would give you an instant leg up in several political situations. They're big, powerful beasts, and the fear of them flying over you is enough to make you bend the knee to the person controlling them, but that doesn't make the person a god. Everyone in Westeros might think that the Targaryens are closer to God than they are to humans because of their dragons, but not Rhaenyra. She understands that they're just as human as anyone else. That doesn't mean that she won't use Syrax when it comes down to it. It just shows that she's aware of her own mortality, and that means that she'd treat everyone with respect, with or without Syrax by her side. In second place, we have, for men, marriage might be a political arrangement. For women, it's like to be a death sentence. In Westeros, marriage is a political move by the patriarchs of two opposing families, and in episode 4, Rhaenyra acknowledges it in a bitter but resonant quote. Both in Game of Thrones and in real life, marriages between two powerful families or kingdoms come at the cost of the women's freedom, even if they're royalty. They are purely to keep the peace and form alliances, and are rarely for love. But if Rhaenyra were queen, she wouldn't subject herself to the same fate as so many before her. Perhaps under her rule, the women of Westeros might have better opportunities and not become bargaining chips between houses and royal families. Finally, at number 1, when I'm queen, I'll create a new order. This one is our favorite quote from the entire season, and it proves why Rhaenyra would be a badass queen if her plans succeed. She's King Viserys' firstborn and is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. But it doesn't matter if it's the age-old tradition of Westeros. The Westerosi folks won't allow that they'd have a queen instead of a king for the first time ever. So Rhaenys warns her daughter that knives will come out if she follows through with Viserys' plan, but Rhaenyra won't have it and says that she'll change the status quo once she sits on the Iron Throne. We know that she understands the power of the sea and that she intends to do things differently than her mother. She knows how to read people, and she understands that dragons don't make you a god among people. So with this final badass quote, she proved herself worthy of the mantle of queen. And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for watching. So, which of Rhaenyra's quotes did you love the most? Which ones did we miss? Tell us down below. And as always, if you love more House of the Dragons or Game of Thrones videos, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because there's more where that came from. We'll see you in the next one.